if you don't fail, if you succeed, you now remind them of their failures. Because how is it that you were able to do it, but they weren't? Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing hasn't been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. When you start working on yourself, it's going to be a lonely road because the past you is going to die, which means that a lot of the friends that you used to have, the people that you used to keep around you, your so-called best friends, the relationships, the people in your life, they no longer know you because the old you has to die in order for you to become the new you. See, who you were is no longer who you were trying to be. And if you want to actively change your circumstances, where you are at in life, it only happens with you giving everything you have to try and change where you're at. You see, people will always cheer you on when you start working out, when you launch your business, when you start writing your book, when you start meal prepping, when you start trying to give up the drinking, when you decide that you're not going to go out every single night and party, when you decide to give up a vice that no longer served you, because people will want to celebrate you initially. But the moment that you pass them on that journey of what is it that you are working on, they're going to want to see you fail. Because if you don't fail, if you succeed, you now remind them of their failures. Because how is it that you were able to do it, but they weren't? And the celebrations and the encouragement will eventually turn into jealousy and envy and eventually hate. And they will start coming up with reasons of why you could do it, but they couldn't. Well, they must have cheated, or, oh, it's easier for them, or they don't have the same circumstances that I have. People would rather believe that you cheated or you have it easier than they do. Otherwise, it means that the failure that they had was theirs. Because if they can point out the failure and say that it was because of society, or because they care so much about their children, or because they love their friends and they refuse to let them be alone, it takes the ownership away from them. It's a lonely road because as you level up, as you have a breakthrough, and you break through that ceiling and you get to that next level, it's going to be a lonely ride. Because the people at that lower level aren't with you anymore, and they shouldn't be. When someone asks you or tells you you've changed, your response to them should be, and you haven't. Why are we so afraid of what people think about us or what people might say about us? Yet we all want better. We all want to change. We all say that we want to level up. We all say that we want to be different. But in order to do something different, in order to do something rare, you have to do rare things. And doing those rare things is hard. It takes commitment. It takes discipline. It takes devotion. And doing that, well, that's the hard part. People will always be more comfortable seeing you fail. People will always be more comfortable seeing you try because they are expecting you to eventually fail. And then you can be right there with them, miserable. See, I told you. Well, you tried. Take it easy. One beer is not going to kill you. Miss the workout. Come out with us this weekend. This is what they will tell you. Because if you miss that workout, if you have that beer, if you decide to go out on the weekend, even though you told yourself that this is the weekend that you start writing your book or you spend more time with your kids, if you make the decision to do what they do, they keep you close to them. you are still part of their circle. They get to feel like you're not leaving them behind. They get to feel that what they're doing isn't wrong. It's not out of the norm. Because if you're doing it, then it must be okay. But if they can't get you, if they can't influence you, if they can't manipulate you to go out and have that drink, to stay out till 3 a.m. with them, if you don't miss your workout, if you stay devoted to what you're doing, they're not going to enjoy themselves the same way, because guess what? You're what they should be doing. The dreams they all had, the aspirations that they've all tried to accomplish and they failed, or the baby steps that they're taking on that mission, it only becomes evident to them how slow they are taking it or how much they are failing when someone like you comes along and shows them that it is possible, that you can do it, that it's not that hard once you actually start doing the work. It's not about outworking them. It's about you're doing the right things in your life to get where you want to be. You see, you can't complain about your circumstances, but keep doing the same thing every single day. Because if you say that you are unhappy and you say that you want more from life, but yet you keep repeating the same mistakes and you keep the same people in your circle, well, then who is to blame besides you? People will always want to naturally see other people fail. They won't say it out loud because then that shows something about them. They won't tell you to your face. But when you fail, they will be right there to pick you up as the friend, as the partner, as the brother, the sister, the mother, whoever it is, because then they can feel better about themselves, because not only did you fail, and they failed as well, but they get to be that good friend that comforts you. They get to be the one that tells you, well, at least you tried. It's okay. This is how life is. You went too hard. See, I told you couldn't do it, but you know what? It's okay. You have us here. Screw that. Don't be around those people. You can leave people behind. Nobody deserves your friendship. Nobody deserves you to pick up their phone call when they call you. If you decide to, that's different. But you have to make the right decisions. You have to keep the right people in your life. If you keep avoiding doing the work based off what someone is telling you, based off what someone believes you should be doing, you no longer have the power. You are giving it away for free. Because if you keep avoiding starting that book or actually joining the gym or hiring a coach or going all in on that business that you've been wanting to start, that you keep talking about, and once you do it, you can't go back, because if you go back, if you slow down, that is it. See, you can't slow down when you decide to do something. You can't lean out once you've leaned in. You have to burn the boats. You have to be willing to do something that makes you uncomfortable. You have to be willing to go against the tides. Everybody wants to be the winner, but nobody wants to do the things that are required to win. Everybody wants to be famous, but no one is required to sacrifice what comes with that. You see, the price of success sometimes can be friendship. Sometimes it's sleep. Sometimes it's happiness. Sometimes it's relationships. The price that you are willing to pay is whether or not you will succeed. So if you're willing to pay the price of getting what you want in life, then you will be able to succeed. You see, all it takes is all you got. And what that means is that you have it inside of you. It's just about not giving up, not slowing down, and continuing to be on the path no matter what distractions come your way. There will always be distractions. There will always be the temptation of going back to the old you. But you have to fight it. You have to fight it. But you don't necessarily have to fight it with everything you have, because if you are fighting it with everything that you have, then you are not devoted to change. You are not devoted to success. It is your hobby. It needs to be your full time. There is no side hustle. In my opinion, when you have a side hustle, you are just giving yourself enough time to eventually fail and then feel like at least you tried. When you burn the boats, when you decide that there is no plan B, you don't go to bed when you're tired. You go to bed when it's done. You don't sleep in because you're tired. You wake up and you go to what you're supposed to do. When you have no plan B, you know that you have to do everything you have to do. You have no other options. But when you leave yourself other options, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's with your entrepreneurial business that you're starting, you will always give your chance out. You will always give yourself a chance out. You will always leave yourself an out, an escape, an exit route. Screw that. Do not give yourself the opportunity to fail. All it takes is all you got. You have to lean in 1,000%. You're not going to experience imposter syndrome if you're doing the work that is required of you. It is only imposter syndrome if you are putting off something that you're not doing. See, here's the thing. I don't believe that we have to keep people in our life if we don't want to. Past relationships can be past relationships. They have come, they have been there, and they have passed. You deciding to leave a friendship, exit a relationship, it's actually very selfless because eventually they will replace you with someone that wants to do the things that you don't want to. So if you decide to end the relationship because you don't align with the same values that they do, why put it off? Why keep dragging that person along? Leave the relationship. Allow that person to find somebody that does want what they want. Leave the friendship. Allow that person to find somebody that does want to drink with them on a Friday night all the way till 2 a.m. And they will feel happy. But it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to lower your standards because when you have the breakthrough and you get to the next level, you can't look back. You've broken through the ceiling. You're doing things you've never done. You are on another level. And new devils have new devils. New levels have new devils. And as you get to the new levels and there's new devils, there will be other challenges, other opposition. And as you face those enemies, those new bosses at the new level, you will realize that you are much better equipped. Why? Because you've been doing the thing. You've been writing the book. You've been studying for the tests. You've been taking on the new assignments. You've been stepping up at work. You've been going to the gym. You've been doing the podcasting. You've been doing whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you're doing it. So therefore, when you do it consistently, you do it consecutively, you will become better at it. You see, experience only goes as far as you want it to. You can tell yourself that I'm going to launch my business. I'm going to open up my LLC. And you can talk about it for days. You can plan for it for years. But until you actually do it, it is only a freaking dream. Dreams don't get you far in life. Dreams do not get you far in life. You have to take action on them. Wishing for something, hoping that something happens, telling yourself that one day all of those things don't mean nothing. They mean nothing unless you actually do something about them. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Because yes, you're going to fail. Yes, you're going to fall. But you only stay in failure if you don't learn something about it. If you don't take something away from it. You will only stay down if you don't get back up. Things will never be ideal. There will never be the right time. You'll never have enough money in the bank. Things are not going to get easier for you. But if you can do it now, when you say you are overwhelmed, when you say you are busy, you will be able to do it whenever. So stop putting off that dream that you have and actually take action on it. Stop worrying about what people will say. You are letting other people's opinions about you hold you back from your dreams. And down the line, years from now, you will resent them for that. But in fact, you should be resenting yourself because you are the only person that allowed them to stop you, not them. People can have their opinions. They can say what they want. It doesn't matter. It's about you. Did you let them in your head? Did you allow them to be the reason why you didn't do what you said you were going to do? Because if that's the fact, if that's the case, you are losing integrity with yourself. Because every time that you say, this is the weekend, this is the month that I finally launched my business, and you don't do it because of somebody else, it's still on you. You made the ultimate decision. You decided to let them influence you. You decided to let them into your head, and you didn't follow through. And when you don't follow through on what you said you were going to do, little by little, you will start to lose confidence in yourself. You will start to lose faith in yourself. You are not loyal to your word. And if you can't do the thing that you said you're going to do on a random weekend when you already planned for it, how do you expect yourself to achieve success in whatever you are trying to do if you can't even get started? If you quit every time it gets hard? If you use your friends as an excuse of why you can't follow through on your word? If you keep saying, well, my kid's this and my kid's that, or my husband this or my wife that, don't you understand? If you live a life of integrity and you follow through with your word, you're teaching those kids a much better lesson than you spending a Friday night with them. They will learn lifelong values from you because kids watch. They're like sponges. They will learn more from you based on what you do than what you say. Be the inspiration, not just for your kids, but for your friends, for your family. You say that you can't say no to your mom every time she asks you over, and you can't say no to the greasy foods that she makes you, but then you wonder why you are 30 pounds overweight. You say that you can't say no to your boss every time they need something from you because you know what, you're the go-to guy, but then you wonder why you never get promoted because they keep using you. You say that you can't get ahead because your wife doesn't support you. But then you wonder why you won't have open communications with her and tell her why this is important to you. Or why you even chose the wrong partner to begin with. Nothing is permanent. You don't have to stay stuck. You can make a change. You can decide, this isn't for me. I don't believe that anybody deserves a reply. I don't believe that anybody deserves a phone call. You decide who you have in your circle, who you spend time with. I don't take random phone calls. I don't take random text messages. I don't reply to everybody. I get messages all week. Oh, you should have me on your podcast. Oh, I would love to do some business with you. Or here's this venture that I want you to be a part of because I see what you're doing. Or here's this veteran idea. Or check out my business. I don't give them the time of day. Why? Because I realized very early on that people just talk. Everybody loves to talk. If you take action, and I see it happening, that's a different story. You are on the path with me. You are not expecting a handout. You are doing the work and you are dragging yourself up by the feet, making a difference in your life, and we can both move together. But too many people just want to talk. Too many people just want to be heard. Your opinion of yourself should be so high that you don't lean on what other people think or say about you. Imagine 10 years from now, and you look back and you told yourself, well, I really wanted to take that job, but I didn't because so-and-so said this about that. Or so-and-so said this about the company. Or my wife said that the hours would be too long. Or my kids said they would miss me. I don't care. You're going to resent your kids, your wife, your friends, whoever it is, because you'll never know. And don't twist my words. I am not saying ignore your kids. I am saying be such of a freaking success in life that they learn so much from you without even knowing it. Kids will always look back and think about what was it that mom or dad didn't do that they said they were going to do because, like I said, they watch you. They take their cues from you. They will either have trauma or they will have experiences that mold their future. You decide what is it that you're going to pass on to them. So stop thinking that you have to limit yourself just because you're too busy, or you don't have time, or you have to wait till it's the right moment, or you have to wait till you get your next paycheck, or you have to wait till you get promoted at work, or you have to wait till the summer till it's less busy. I got news for you. You're never going to have enough time. You'll never have enough money for whatever it is you want to do. You're not going to hit the lotto. Your kids are going to keep needing you. Your wife is not going to understand why you want to take on this business until you explain it to her. Things are never going to line up for you. You have to make them line up for yourself. You should be so willing to take on that dream and turn it into a reality that you understand that it is going to take not only hard work, but the right work. It's not about, am I doing enough work? It's about, am I doing the right things? Don't just work for the sake of working. You better realize what does help you and what doesn't. Because if you're staying up till 2 a.m, grinding at your business, right? Grinding, we all know that word. And you're not getting where you want to be, you're just doing the wrong things. And how do you make sure that you're doing the right things? By having a feedback loop that is so quick that you understand whether something is working or it's not. So you wake up with intention, you go to the gym, you do your workout, you feel better, you have a quick feedback loop, and you understand that doing the workout makes you feel better. You avoid the fast food, you eat something healthy, you get your protein in, and then you feel better, you don't feel bloated, you don't crash after lunch, and then you realize that eating the healthy foods makes you feel better. And then you get home, and then you have your dinner, that you meal prep, and then you realize, I am actually saving money by making my own foods. And then you put your phone on sleep mode and you go to bed and you put it across the room and you don't allow anyone or anything to disturb your sleep. And then you realize, I actually can be a good sleeper. You stop letting your past be the majority in your head. It's not that the past is irrelevant. It's not. It's just that you have to create so many more positives in your day-to-day now that the past becomes smaller and smaller of a slice of that pie of life. Because if you have 3 or 4 or 5 traumatic and bad experiences in your life that are holding you back, and they are the reasons why you can't succeed, when you start creating 5 or 10 or 15 amazing experiences in your life, and they are the reasons why you will succeed, that past starts to slowly become less and less of a hindrance on you, because it is taking up less and less of a percentage of your life. It has to be a reset. The old you has to be Control-Alt-Deleted. When you do that, when you allow yourself to clear your browser history, your cache, all of the things in your head that are keeping your operating system running slow, and you can give yourself permission to open up a new system, launch a new version of yourself, it has to be a reset. Shut down the system and start over. Because the past you, the things in your life then, they no longer serve you. You don't need that old operating system anymore. You're trying to do something different. And if you want to do something different, if you want to live an epic life, you need to do epic shit. If you want to be on a stage speaking in front of thousands of people one day, you better do the things that someone that is doing that would do. It's not about taking baby steps, or I'm starting small, or every day is a little bit better. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that if you want something, you go all in. You lean in, you burn the boats. You have no plan B, because without a plan B, you will not fail, because you understand the ramifications. If you don't succeed, everything will fall around you. You see, Rome was not built in a day, but it also didn't fall in one day. It took time. So if you built this life around you with negative people and all these things that are sucking away at you, and you think you're going to get rid of it in one day, it's going to take a while. But if you are intentional and you give yourself boundaries that you follow and you stick to them, guess what? You can burn Rome down in one day. There's nothing more devastating than a fire. There is nothing more destructive than a fire. And sometimes you have to light a fire to the past. Sometimes you have to light a fire and add fuel to it so it burns so bright that it becomes your rocket fuel to launch into that next level. We don't have to keep memories, people, circumstances, situations in our life if we don't want them there. It is on you. So if you keep telling yourself, well, I have to keep this person in my life because you know what? They have been there for me. That's great. Take the lesson, but do not let them drag you down anymore. Just because someone did something positive for you doesn't mean that you haven't repaid your debt and that you can move on. I don't believe that people have to be in your life forever. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with this, and that's okay. This is my opinion. This is what I am doing. This is my life. But if this resonates with you, if this triggers you, if this makes you feel some type of way, there's a reason for that. Now, you can go ahead and get all huffy and puffy and get angry and tell yourself, well, that just doesn't work for me, okay? Or life is different, or you don't get it. I don't care. I don't have to get it. I don't have to know what you're going through. It doesn't matter because your circumstances are just that, circumstances. And if you are giving them so much power that you keep saying they are the reason why you can't do it, then you will never do it. But if you use it to be the fuel, your fire, to be the reason why you have to change your circumstances, then you have every reason to succeed. You see, success is just one step away. One more podcast, one more page, one more workout, and you will feel success. Success is the journey. You're never going to get there, by the way. It's an ongoing journey. But until you start taking those steps, until you start showing up for yourself, until you stop making excuses and pretending that there are reasons, you will always go back to the old you. And if the old you was a people pleaser, because that's how you got your value, because you couldn't be of value to yourself, you'll go back to that. If the old you didn't speak up for yourself and you always get angry and bitter because you feel like you're not heard, you will go back to that. If the old you didn't have the intestinal fortitude to say no to that beer, to say no to the friend that wants to go out and party, you will, you guessed it, go back to that. But when you burn the boats, when you have no plan B, when you tell yourself that you're going to lean into that uncomfortable feeling of change, because eventually, not only will it become comfortable, but it will become your new norm. It will be your new level. And guess what? You have to keep leveling up after that. It doesn't end. It is an ongoing fight. If you want something rare from life, you have to do rare things. And it's a lonely ride. Because people that were around you before, they don't know that version of you. They know the old you. They know the drunk you. They know the high you. They know the fat you. They know the lazy you. And that version of you will always be the version that they love the most because that's why they're around you. Otherwise, they wouldn't. So once you start to leave that version of you behind, they're going to try and pull you back in. They're going to try and pull you back in. Because if you leave them behind, guess what? They get left behind. And they don't want to get left behind. Because then they feel like failures. So if you try and launch and your rocket blows up midair and you come crashing down, they're going to be right there to tell you, it's okay. See, I told you. You try too hard. Take it easy. They're saying this because you just validated their feelings of not being a failure. Because if you couldn't do it, then it's okay that they can do it. But the moment you break through that ceiling and you keep flying and soaring and you don't stop and you don't slow down, guess what? They're going to look at you and be like, damn, how could they do it and I couldn't? And instead of them self-reflecting and realizing, well, it's because of me and it's because of this and I can do it too, and them being inspired by you, they're going to come up with reasons of why you could. Well, it's easier for him. Oh, well, she must have cheated. Oh, well, her circumstances are different. Or she didn't go through what I went through. They don't have the trauma that I have. They have a supportive partner. Well, my job is harder. None of those things matter. They're circumstances. In the same way you chose your current state of life, and the same way you have circumstances around you based on what you've done in the past, they do as well. But the difference between you and them is that you're willing to do something about it. You're not happy where you are at. You are going to create happiness daily, not seek it, not pursue it, but you're going to create happiness daily by waking up and telling yourself that this is going to be the best day ever. Don't play small for people. Don't hold back because you want to make people feel comfortable. Don't silence yourself because you feel like people are going to judge you for being too smart or outspoken. Don't hold back your opinion because you're afraid of what one person might say about it. There are thousands of people waiting for you to speak up who want to be inspired by you. But they don't know you unless you are known, unless you make yourself known, unless you start that business, unless you change your life, because you will change theirs as a byproduct. You see, successful people don't look for people to give them validation. They do the thing that they want to do for them. And people gravitate towards them. They are attracted to success. And even if those people that are gravitating towards them don't feel that they can do it, they feel, well, at least I'm around this person and I can't do what they're doing because of my situation, but they're lucky. They have it easier than me. What pulls you down? What is holding you back? Is it your friends? Is it your family? Is it you? You. You should be your own wind behind your sails instead of the anchor that keeps you down. Your mentality, your mindset, your belief system, whatever you tell yourself, it is true no matter which way you phrase it. So if you tell yourself, well, I can't catch a break, or life is unfair, or I have PTSD, you don't get it, or I went through all this trauma, I've lost friends, guess what? You're not the first and you won't be the last. But you can decide whether this will be the last time that you feel this way. This will be the last time you use that as an excuse. If you want more from life, you have to go out there and get it. You have to stop people pleasing. You have to stop allowing people into your life that you think are trying to fill this void in your life when you should be asking yourself, why do I feel this void? Why am I allowing myself to feel this way? It's on you. It's all on you. So make the decision to live life differently and then go out there and do it. Don't slow down. Don't back down. Don't hold your horses. Keep going and blast off. Break through that ceiling and then don't look back. The people that want to be around you will fly with you. They will be inspired by you. They will keep motivating you and inspiring you and giving you value. But if people don't give you value, you need to get rid of them. If people take more value from you than they give you, then they are the reason why you are being held back. They're not the excuse. They are the reason. And until you tell yourself that they will no longer be the reason, you won't be able to free yourself from your old self. When people ask you and they tell you, man, you've changed, you should look back and say, and you haven't. You haven't. And that's okay. Live your life. Worry about yourself. Design your story. Change the narrative. Flip the switch and you tell yourself, what is it that you want from yourself? Not from anybody else, not from the world, not a handout. What do you want? And when you find out what that is, you better aim at it with everything that you have, and you better be delusionally optimistic because it's only delusion if you don't do the work. Be relentless in your pursuit of whatever it is that you want. Be unrealistic because when you are realistic, you are limiting your potential because society says you have to. Because society says that you can't achieve this. They want you broke. They want you suffering. They want you miserable. They want you stuck in a 9-to-5. They want you in the rat race. Because if you don't escape the rat race, you are right there with them being miserable. And they will cheer you on when you start. They will tell you, go after it. I believe in you. Because you are no longer in competition with them. And now they get to see you fail. And now they get to see you fail. And when you fail, they will be right there to tell you, see, I told you so. Or don't worry, it happened to me before. Or yeah, that's just what happens. But they win either way, because if you don't fail, they're going to come up with an excuse of why you did succeed. And they're going to want the handouts. They're going to want the love back, right? They're going to say, well, I was your day one. Were you? Or were you just there waiting for me to fail or win so you could be right either way? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the people that are the wind beneath your sails, the people that do lift you up, the people that want you to win, they will become evident to you. They will continuously support you with no sort of ask, unconditionally. They're the ones that want you to win. And you will be able to recognize who is who based on what they say about you behind your back, based on what they say about you when you're with them. Because if they keep saying, oh yeah, so-and-so, he has a short temper. No, you don't. Don't let them say that about you. Check them. Tell them, I don't have a short temper. Don't say that about me. If they tell somebody, yeah, Juan, he loves to get drunk on the weekends. No, I don't. I don't drink on the weekends anymore. I've changed. Don't allow the narrative that they tell about you become the story that you believe or the narrative that they tell other people. Check it and correct it. And if it doesn't change, if the behavior isn't fixed, then eliminate them from your life. Nobody deserves to be in your life. It's earned. The same way you have to earn the life that you want. Stop allowing people to hold you back. Because eventually, you will start being the same way and you will be resentful. And when your neighbor does well, you're going to be, well, yeah, he cheated. Or, well, when I tried, nobody supported me. And then you become exactly what you hate. So make the decision. Take the leap of faith. Have confidence in yourself, because confidence is built by having an undeniable stack of evidence behind you that you did what you said you were going to do. Thank you for your time. Now go out there and take life by the fucking balls and make it happen for yourself. No more excuses. Be the reason why you make it happen. I want to see you win.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply just gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join this mission, follow my socials at JP the Veteran Coach and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together as veterans. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.